Hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello, hi, and welcome. Today's video, candle of the day today, is spiced vanilla cupcake. It smells incredible. It smells so good. And today's video is one that I'm really excited about. I saw this idea from Angelica Nikowicz. Don't know if I say her last name right. I have known Angelica literally since I started YouTube, and I still am never 100% sure if I'm saying her last name right. So Angelica, I apologize. But Angelica is an absolutely fantastic channel here on YouTube. She comes up with the most amazing and creative makeup content, and I just adore her. So I will have her channel linked down below. But I saw her do this video idea, and I thought it was really like a fun, cute idea. And that is basically ranking influencer brands. How I did this was like I did influencer slash celebrity brands, just because I feel like that gives you sort of like a larger pool of people to draw from. But we're doing influencer and celebrity makeup brands today, and we're gonna be ranking them. I have done a video before, I believe during Glowmas, I did a video ranking just makeup brands in general, but I feel like the influencer celebrity makeup brand subset of the community is very interesting, and I do feel like there are some that reign supreme and others who just don't. So I am going to go through and rank them today. Today's video is sponsored by Miso. Okay, so Charles and I have been using this Miso knife for a few months at this point, and it has become an absolute staple in our kitchen. The day that we shot these, I was making some potatoes for lunch and Charles was making some sort of like dumpling thing. So we ended up cutting up some bell peppers and some potatoes just to show you guys how easily you can cut things with this knife. The Miso knife is basically made to have everything all in one, and I can say that that's what we use it for. Like, we legitimately use this knife every single time that we are cooking because it works for anything. I feel like one of the big grown-up things that I've learned in the past couple of years is having just one really good knife, and upgrading that knife is like one of the best things that you can do. And this knife is basically designed to replace an entire set of knives. So to me, it's well worth the investment. Also, Oliver loves when we use the Miso knife because it means he's getting cut up pieces of pepper, which is his favorite thing on the planet. If you're interested in trying Miso, you can go to the link in my description and use promo code SMOKYGLOW for 20% off your first order. Again, go to the link in my description and use code SMOKYGLOW for 20% off your first order. Thank you so much to Miso for sponsoring this video, and let's jump into the video. My list consists of iconic, good, just good, would buy it if it was on sale, which I feel like is a very important category to have, blah, and hate it. Those are my 5 categories today, and we have quite a few influencer brands here to talk about, so let's jump right into it. The very first brand I want to talk about is KKW Beauty. This is Kim Kardashian's makeup line. Obviously, it's between blah or hate it, and I can't decide which one it is. I feel as though blah is a better fit for KKW Beauty because it's not that the makeup is like horrific. Like, the couple of things that I have tried from the brand have not been awful. They've just like not been good. Like, her products are never very good, and I think the bigger problem for me with KKW Beauty isn't so much even like that her products are not the best. It's that like there's no concepts. Like, the concept is about as exciting as the interior of her home, which is not at all. It's just boring. Like, it's just beiges and whites and neutrals. And here's the thing, I understand a brand having like a neutral palette. Like, even though I think neutrals are overdone in the makeup industry as a whole, as an individual brand, every individual brand has to have that staple palette, right? That's why when I saw Patrick Ta's makeup palette, I was actually excited because even though it was like a neutral palette, it was a neutral palette from his brand. We hadn't seen that before. Kim, I feel like all of the launches that KKW comes out with are literally identical. So I think I'm actually gonna put it in hate it. Yeah, I feel confident in that decision. I don't feel like there's any effort put into this brand. I don't feel like there was any creativity put into the brand. I don't feel like there's any work put in. I feel like from the get, they were selling kind of scammy products with those contour sticks that had like 0.00015 grams of product in them that fell apart the second you tried to use them. I feel like from the start, the brand had a lot of issues, and it just hasn't gotten better since then. There's no creativity, no really good products, like nothing. Okay, next we should talk about Huda Beauty, which I will say, I believe Huda stepped down as like the CEO. She's still part of the brand, but she definitely is not the CEO anymore. She replaced herself with somebody else, which actually, I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed listening to her reasoning for that. It was really refreshing to see an influencer be like, I didn't start doing this because I wanted to be a CEO, and all of a sudden I was a CEO and I didn't know what I was doing. Like, that's a really kind of refreshing mindset. I feel like a lot of influencers, even like the ones on this list that we're going to be talking about, could really take notes on that of like, I wasn't meant to be a CEO. Creative director, sure. Owner, sure, but like maybe somebody else should be the runner of everything, right? I don't know. Huda Beauty, I would say good. I like Huda's products. I think they're very solid. Ethically, I do not align with a lot of what Huda herself has done and talked about. I don't know, I don't pay attention to too much to a lot of her stuff, but there's been a couple of things that I like ethically have not agreed with her. However, overall, I think the makeup is really solid. She has been and continues to come out with really great diverse shade ranges, and she's one of the few brands that I feel like was coming out with different, you know, highlighter palettes for different skin tones, different blush palettes for different skin tones, different bronzers for deeper skin tones. And I think that that's a really wonderful thing. That's not something you see as much with brands. I feel like brands were so focused on making foundation shade ranges bigger, they forgot that like all other aspects of makeup needed to be expanded upon. Yeah, I wouldn't go as far to be like, oh, iconic, best makeup of all time, but I would say most things I try from Huda, with the exception of a few, have been really good. And the things I haven't tried, I still looked at and can objectively be like, yeah, they're good. The one thing I will say I really love about Huda's brand is just how cohesive everything feels. Like every palette sort of, even though sometimes they can get a bit repetitive, every palette has a very similar sort of vibe and story. Even her little mini palettes, they all follow sort of the same layout. All of her products, you can recognize them very easily as being like, that is Huda Beauty. And I think that that's fantastic as well. Fenty, icon. Icon. I am a Fenty fanatic. I love Fenty. I feel like the brand is just so freaking good. I feel like for the most part, they genuinely do take inclusivity seriously. I feel like their products are phenomenal. Like even the ones I don't love, I can understand why other people would love them. Like I wasn't a big fan of the dewy foundation, but I can understand why it would work for a lot of different skin types that are not mine. I think just in general, Fenty as a brand kills it for me. Like I love them. I'm sorry. And I feel like they do a really good job of being like on trend. Like they've been coming out the brightening concealer, the skin tints, like cream products. I feel like they're really trying to listen to makeup trends and adapt to them, and I think they're doing a really good job at that. Next we have Dominique Cosmetics. I'm gonna put Dominique Cosmetics in the would buy it on sale, and this is no shade. Because I love Dominique Cosmetics. I really do. I love the brand. I have loved Kristen Dominique for a long time. I really, really think that her brand is highly underrated for how good the products are. Like the formulas are amazing. Really love all of that. The only problem I have with Dominique Cosmetics in particular is really just that I feel as if the makeup is not as like inspired. Like it's not as, inspired is really the best word. Sometimes it just doesn't feel as inspired as some other brands that I see from. I feel like her packaging and her palettes are always very similar. Like I felt like the first launch was so good, the coffee palette. I think it was the latte palette. I thought that was a really cool concept, but then from there she went to like the lemonade palette, which that palette just had a lot of production issues that she owned up to her credit. I will say also like she handles her stuff very well, which I appreciate, and then she had like there was like a farmer's palette and a summer solstice palette. It seems like the brand doesn't really have this cohesive theme that I kind of wish it did. I will say the products are really good, but I really only buy them on sale, which is why I would put it in the would buy it on sale. Like a bunch of her palettes went on sale at Sephora a while back, and I bought like all of them because I love the formula, but I can't really justify that price point for her color stories, if that makes sense. It's not even that the formulas aren't good, just for her color stories, I don't think they're always worth the price point. Her shimmers are beautiful though too. She really does have good shades. Like if you catch these palettes on sale, buy them because they're really, really pretty. But yeah, I will say she did just announce that she's coming out with, I believe it was cream blushes. and I'm very interested in those. Super interesting. She came out with these like cream highlighters that I really hated a while back, but I have a feeling that the cream blush is gonna just go better with my makeup routine and my skin type. House Labs, which is Lady Gaga's brand. I hate it. I hate House Labs. I hate it so much. I think I hate it. Honestly, I don't think I'm fair to House Labs because it's not that it's like ridiculously bad as a brand. I just hate it because it's not what I want it to be. Not even not what I want it to be. It's just not even like remotely Lady Gaga themed. Like, I love Lady Gaga. I think I've said this a billion times, but I'll say it again. She's amazing. She's an icon. Like, she really is so iconic. And I feel like there were so many different paths that you could have taken with this makeup brand, but we keep getting this sort of bland, boring, awful not awful. I've heard some of the products are good, but the packaging is always just like bad. And honestly, I think I just hate it because it's boring. I hate it for being boring. I think that's a better way to put it. I just hate the fact that it's so boring. Next, we have One Size Beauty by Patrick Starr. I'm gonna put it in the blah category. I don't hate One Size Beauty and I don't hate Patrick Starr. I do dislike the way that he started like doing some shit last year. Or was it this year? Was it, when did he go on that rant on Nikita's Snapchat? I don't remember, but I wasn't a big fan at that point. However, I do feel like One Size as a brand, I don't despise it. It's just, again, blah. I feel like Patrick is a person that has so much personality and so much creativity and is very innovative in everything except creating makeup. Like, he had this new, I believe it was a pressed powder coming out, and he made this whole amazing, like truly fantastic commercial that was based around like a marching band drum line, and he was the person at the front with the baton and everybody was drumming and it was all marching band themed and it was amazing. Like, it was so cool. And then the end of that commercial was showing this powder, this pressed powder, and I was like like, I wish that he just had teamed up with a brand to like be their marketing person, because he crushes it when it comes to concepts and things like that. Like, even for his MAC collaborations, he said that he was sort of the mind behind these 4 different big commercials that ended up being 5 big commercials for MAC. Like, he has openly said that he was the one sort of behind all of that. And I think honestly that's where his sort of, you know, creativity shines, is visual work, like doing marketing campaigns, doing ad campaigns, because that was an amazing ad campaign until you get to the part where it's just a pressed powder and it's it loses a lot of that sort of pizzazz, you know? Again, kind of similarly to House Labs, I just feel like a lot of the stuff that he comes out with is just boring. Like, and for being such a loud, extra, creative, beautiful person, like, you would think that some of that could translate to the makeup, and it just doesn't, which kind of sucks. Next, we have Kylie Cosmetics. I want to put Kylie Cosmetics in the hate it, because like, I hate everything about Kylie Cosmetics, especially now. I used to really buy into the hype of the lip kits when I was first starting in makeup. That was like some of the first makeup I ever bought was freaking lip kits, because I really, really bought into the Kylie Cosmetics thing. However, I will say, I feel like to put it down with KKW Beauty like isn't necessarily fair. I'm gonna put Kylie in blah. I do feel like the products are boring and uninspired and like not the best, and I feel like the quality is not the best. However, I do feel like at least Kylie does a little bit more than Kim in terms, not them as people, I mean their teams. They don't really do anything, to be honest. But I do feel like Kylie's brand does a little bit more than Kim on the creative front. Kylie doesn't just put out beige everything. There's color, there's themes. Like, she did the Grinch collaboration, she does all these birthday collaborations, she collaborates with her other family members and like creates stuff around them. Like, I do feel like at least for Kylie there is some innovation there is something like, at least it's something. Whereas with Kim, it's just actually so painfully dull and boring. Like, I feel like if you're comparing the two, Kylie does have a little bit more color and creativity and pizzazz, whereas Kim's is just like blank nothingness, you know? KKW Beauty is just a fucking void, honestly. Okay, Auric Beauty. This is Samantha Ravendoll's brand. I would put this in the good category. I liked the two products I got from the launch okay. They weren't my favorite thing on the planet. However, I am excited to see like what Sam comes out with next. You know what I mean? Like, even though those first two initial launches weren't necessarily my jam, I feel like she's gonna keep putting out at least innovative products, because these were innovative. Like, both of the products I do feel were very innovative, were very interesting. I feel like at the very least she's going to always come out with very interesting products, and I'm also just very excited to see sort of where the brand goes from here. So I'm gonna put that in the good for now. I don't think it's reached icon level, but I would also pay for it at full price. So, Jaclyn Cosmetics. I don't know if there's a good category for Jaclyn Cosmetics, because I really wouldn't buy it if it was on sale. However, I don't think it's blah or hate it, but I also don't think it's good. So I'm gonna do the would buy it on sale. I wouldn't buy it if it was on sale, but I think that's a really good mid-tier place. Basically, I've never actually tried anything from Jaclyn Cosmetics. Obviously, we all know about the lipsticks, whatever. I think the bigger thing is the more launches that Jaclyn comes out with, I do feel like a lot of them have been hit or miss. I feel like I see a lot of sort of mixed reviews. Like, some people either really, really love the products, or some people either really don't. I also do feel like the shade ranges on a lot of the Jaclyn Cosmetics launches are lacking in diversity, which I think is a massive problem that she should be addressing internally. However, I don't think it's like necessarily bad. Like, I feel like a lot of her launches make sense to me for Jaclyn, even though it's not exactly my exact like style of how I would do a makeup brand. I feel like she does put a lot of effort and thought into her packaging and the way things look. I feel like she comes out with very on-trend products. I feel like from what I've heard, the products for the most part are very good for most people. So yeah, I would put in a solid like mid-tier. I think the problem with Jaclyn's brand, not even that it's a problem, because it's obviously works for her, but I think like my only thing about it is like I feel like sometimes she puts almost too much of her personality into the brand and too much of her personal style into the brand. And while I think everybody's entitled to do everything how they want, I also think that Jaclyn's personal style is just like not my personal style. Like, what was the one she just came out with? Was it Bougie Rouge or something like that? And I just hated everything about that, because personally that's just not my personal style, whereas like that is hers. So I think the only like problem, not that it's a problem, is that it isn't as sort of widely appealing or sort of aesthetically pleasing as something like Fenty or Auric or even, you know, Huda. Like, those are very sort of minimal, aesthetically pleasing brands that have like sort of their theme that's not too in your face, whereas Jaclyn's is a very clear aesthetic, and if you are not vibing with that aesthetic, you're probably not going to like the products that are put out. So I think that's the only sort of problem. But again, if you love that aesthetic, then this is like everything for you. So it really just kind of, she has her demographic and she goes for it. Dragon Beauty. I'm gonna put Dragon Beauty in blah. I don't hate Dragon Beauty, and really the big reason, the big savior for Dragon Beauty is those color correctors. I've heard phenomenal things about the Dragon Beauty color correctors, and honestly I think that that's wonderful. Obviously Nikita Dragon, the owner, is trans, and she has been very open about the fact that color correcting is really an integral part of her makeup routine. So to see her create a product like that and have it be so successful, I think is really cool. However, I would say 80% of what I see out of Dragon Beauty looks like it belongs at Claire's. So for the most part, it's a blah for me. I just think that this brand is not, it's a little blah. Laura Lee Los Angeles. If we're following the same logic, it's a blah for me. Okay, the only real product that I liked from this brand, from Laura Lee's, was Nudie Patootie. And here's the thing. I think that Laura Lee, like, I appreciate that she took a lot of the criticism from the Cat's Pajamas launch and really turned her brand around at least a little bit. Like, I feel like Nudie Patootie was a total 180 from Cat's Pajamas in a very good way, because Cat's Pajamas, I think we can all agree, it was kind of a mess. Like, it was kind of a mess. It was a very all over the place, very weird launch. It was very obvious that Laura did not exactly know like what she was fully doing. It was like glitter and flowers and weird color stories and like that. So, you know, Cat's Pajamas, and it was called Cat's Pajamas for some reason. It was a little bit of a mess. However, I do think she learned and grew with the Nudie Patootie launch. With that being said, everything that she comes out with is just far too basic for me to be even remotely interested in. I am, however, very intrigued by this clothing line she is going, the Nudie Patootie clothing line. I think that that's really interesting. I think it's very cool that influencers are branching out past makeup into other avenues of sort of lifestyle stuff. So I think that's cool, but everything that she comes out with for her makeup line, I've just not really, I can't get excited about it. Every time I see a new launch, I don't get excited by it. I'm not really interested in it. And while I like commend her for like doing her thing, it's just not my vibe. It's not for me. Florence by Mills, I think I would put in the would buy if it was on sale. This is Millie Bobby Brown's makeup brand, and I actually really like Florence by Mills stuff, the stuff that I've tried. But it's obviously geared for a more sort of like younger demographic. Like that was the point, was it was made for like teenagers. So for me, I'm no longer a teenager, thank God, and I don't really need as much of this stuff. Like, it's not my vibe, it's not my thing, but I think it's cute, and I bought a few of her products when they've been on sale. Most notably, the eye cream from Florence by Mills is actually bomb. Like, I really like it. Flower Beauty is so good. Flower Beauty, I don't know why more people don't talk about Flower Beauty by Drew Barrymore. I think it's because a lot of the times the new launches and stuff, like, they go under the radar for me, but Flower Beauty is phenomenal. Like, such a good brand. They have so many amazing products and like really beautiful packaging and a beautiful aesthetic. Drew Barrymore also just seems like a very lovely, down-to-earth, beautiful human being, which I think is amazing. I think that the whole vibe of the brand is very cute, very on trend, like, yes, good. I would put Makeup Geek in the good category as well. Yeah, I would put Makeup Geek in the good category. Their products, while I believe that they are overpriced for what they are, I think that they're very good products. Like, and I will say a lot of the other stuff I've tried from Makeup Geek has been pretty good. I think that the brand has just suffered, frankly, from just kind of like poor management skills, but also just like bad luck. Like they had some bad stuff happen with a lab, which led to them not being able to put out new product for an extended period of time. Things like Marlena wasn't always on top of contracts and making sure that money wasn't being wasted and all of those things, which again, talking about someone like KKW Beauty, recognizing when maybe you are not like a freaking CEO. With that being said, Marlena was also one of the first people to do it. So it's not like a lot of these influencers now who can call up their friends and ask for advice. She was really doing everything completely by herself and on her own. So for that, I give her a lot of credit for building Makeup Geek to what it is today, completely on her own, especially in the beginning. I think that's amazing. But I will say, I think the reason the brand didn't ever explode to this like massive amount of fame was really just because I think that she struggled manning that ship. Okay, next we have Lunar Beauty. I'm gonna put Lunar Beauty in the good category. My thing about Lunar Beauty is everything from like the highlighters that were in the little stone packaging onward, I love. I feel like once Manny found his vibe and found his groove and found this sort of like celestial Sailor Moon inspired stuff, I feel like the brand really started to thrive at that point once he sort of tapped into what he truly saw the brand being and made it more cohesive. But I do feel like the first few launches were just not my favorite. Like the original Life's a Drag palette was not my favorite palette ever that was released by a beauty influencer, and same thing with the, I think it was a Medusa themed palette, was just not my favorite thing. Then you have like Strawberry Dreams, you have the evil twin sister of Strawberry Dreams, the Moon Prism blush palette, which is absolutely gorgeous. Like there's a lot of banger products in there. I also will say he has one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas of any influencer brand. Probably Makeup Geek and Lunar Beauty are two of my absolute favorite influencer eyeshadow palette formulas. I put Dominique Cosmetics in there as well. All of three have really beautiful, creamy like mattes, and Lunar Beauty and Dominique Cosmetics in particular have beautiful shimmers, like beautiful, just wet looking, gorgeous shimmer shades. Those two are probably my faves for shimmers. Next we have Rare Beauty, and I'm going to put Rare Beauty in the good category. I really love Rare Beauty. I was a little skeptical when I first tried the brand, and I feel like there was a little bit of drama that went down with that brand. But overall, I really love everything that they're putting out. The launch that they most recently had, which was the cream blushes, cream eyeshadows, and glosses that were all monochromatic, is easily one of my favorite. I don't know if that was 2020 or 2021, but whichever one it was one of my favorite collections that dropped. Like truly so good, genius. And every single product out of that whole collection, from the glosses to the liquid shadows to the blushes, was unreal, like beautiful. Finally, we have Tati Beauty. Tati Beauty only released like 2 products. I guess would buy it on sale is a fair place to put it. I hated the Blendiful. I thought that was like kind of dumb. Even, I feel like at the time I was like, no, it's cool, but now it was kind of dumb. However, I really love the eyeshadow palette. I still pull it out like a decent amount and use it quite a bit because I just really love the mattes, the way that they blend, and I also really love the shimmers. So I do hope that, I think the initial plan, and she kind of hinted at making more of those palettes, like making a volume 2, a volume 3, a volume 4 of sort of different hues. And I really hope that she actually does that, because like the first one was amazing. Like I could have gone without the row of quasi shimmers, as I called them. Like I wasn't a huge fan of that whole thing, but I think in general the concept and scheme of that is really cool, of having everything sort of in a row with the different finish. And I hope she continues that same sort of format going into her later palettes, because I think that would be very cool. So yeah, this is my final ranking. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know I probably missed some brands, so let me know who I missed down below, and also let me know what you think of this ranking. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? I'm interested to know. I love you guys so much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with some links and information about Pride Month that you should definitely go check out. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!